All right, so a very good morning, everyone. This side is Megha Narang, your computer teacher. Right now, we are going to discuss chapter number 3 of this computer book of ours, whose name is, in fact, The Advanced Formula and the Functions in MS Excel 2007. In last class, that was class 7th, we had learned certain basic features, you can say certain basic features we had learned of MS Excel, right? Just like hope you remember vertical, if we are counting the numbers or moving towards a vertical section of the line on a spreadsheet or in an MS Excel sheet, then that was called as what? Column, while the horizontal one was called as a row. There was something known as cell address also. Hope you remember that a particular rectangle box made up of row and column was thus only one box is called as cell. Right, when many cells combines together, they form row, column, and thus they also form spreadsheet. So moving towards now the advanced feature of MS Excel, it is somewhat like copying a formula from one cell to the another. Is there any change? We used to write formula also in MS Excel, right? When we are copying this formula from one cell to the another, there lies changes. If you didn't had observed it till now, you are supposed to do that. Try it once and you will definitely find there are changes. So thus there comes one term into existence, that is cell referencing. Cell referencing is the one that help us to identify the behavior of cell address in a formula when it is copied from one to another. That means when a formula is written and you are copying and pasting it to other particular cell, then there will be a change in the cell address. All right, that particular identification of the behavior of the cell address is thus called as cell referencing. So moving towards the next one, as you can find it out, this particular thing I had already done from the book only. This is already the screenshot of book, and therefore you can easily find it out. The same text is here. Cell referencing, same definition, help us to identify the behavior of the cell address in a formula when it is copied from one to another. If I'm copying this formula from this particular cell to this one, there lie certain changes, and not to forget, this term is called as cell referencing. This referencing is of three types: absolute, relative, and mixed. So in the next slide, we will be discussing every one of them, I mean each one of them one by one. Don't get confused, hear it very carefully. So starting from the very first one, that is relative referencing itself, every cell is made up of column and row. So this one vertically if we are taking is a column, while this one horizontally if we are considering is a row, right? So moving towards the next one, if I'm talking about this 30, so this is the particular name box, or you can also say the address box, where you can see the address of this cell. Address of this cell probably would be A5. Fine. While in the case of this one, it will be C5, and hence in the last one it would be E5. The same way. If I'm talking about this cell, it will be D along with this particular number of the row, that is 9. So it will be D9. The same way you can have the address of all the other cells that are present. So moving further, the referencing we were talking about, a cell is called relative when both parts are not fixed. That means if both of the parts are not fixed, then that is called as relative. While the next one, it is called absolute when both parts are fixed. A cell is called mixed when only one of them is fixed. So moving towards the very first type of the referencing, that is relative referencing. In the case of this relative referencing, I will elaborate this particular topic with the help of an example. Look here, this address was A1 written, B1 written the same way, equals to, formula always starts with equals to. We want to add them together. 2 plus 3, answer will be 5. The same thing is done over here. Okay. Now I'm copying this particular formula and pasting onto another one, another example, as you can see on the screen. So this particular another example, as you can see, involves the same formula. What has been changed? The cell address has been now changed. A1, B1, in this case it is B3, C3, like this. B3, sorry, the term is 4, the value is 4, while in the case of C3, value is 6, right? So I am copying the same formulas because I want to add both of them. So the cell address will be also changed, right? This type of the referencing which changes as per the position of the cell changes is called as relative referencing. Okay, this box one is written now, so let's start reading it. In cell C1, some function is used. Okay, we will get back to functions also soon, but don't worry, right now just look at the change, that the reference is just changed when you changes the particular cell address A1, B1, B3, C3. So this change in this cell address, and thus the particular formula is same, we are adding in both of them, but there lies a change in the address. This simple type of the referencing is called as relative referencing. Moving towards the next type of referencing, name is absolute referencing. If we are talking about this type of referencing, be very sure that both the parts of the formula will be same, or you can say they will be absolute. They are constant. They will not change anyhow, no matter what happens, they will remain constant. Best example for this case is here you can see this type of dollar like structure is made, no, the symbol. In this, I mean, using this symbol only, we are stating A1, that means address of this, while the B1 address of the second one. Adding and putting them together and thus giving an example of absolute referencing. Answer coming here is also 5, that means both of them are adding. What happens if I copy this particular formula onto other rows also or to other columns also, the value will be same. All right, look here, I'm copying the same formula. Answer here, yet is 5. It should be 10. It has to be 10, right? But it is not changing. It is remaining 5 only. That means if the value in the case of this particular referencing is not changing because you had used the constant term for this constant row or constant column only you are using, that means this particular thing will not change no matter what, where you keep this. If you want to change it, you are supposed to remove this dollars out of the sign. Then only the particular referencing can be changed. In this particular type of referencing, the most important thing is that whatever you are choosing will remain constant. This A1 while B1 remains the same even if you copies the formula. Okay. So moving towards the next type of referencing is the mixed referencing. So in this case of mixed referencing, as you can see in this box itself, we are having a mix of both of them. Okay, this one exactly is the type of mixed referencing. Fine. In this case, there can be constant, one term can be constant, another can be just like that only variable. It doesn't matter. The only thing is we are having a mixture of both of them, relative and along with that absolute also. Okay, so these were the three type of referencing. Moving back is using functions. So as you can see in your this particular MS Excel only, there lies a tab named as formula. You can even open up onto your screen and can find this particular ribbon. It is easily available. So formulas is having this particular type of a particular ribbon in which you can see there are various sort of the formulas written. Insert function, you can even copy functions from here. Auto sum, recently used, financial, logical, text, date and time, lookup and references, etc. They are used and they all of them are having their own, you can say, varied field. As per the field they are used. Maths and trigonometry one functions will be used for trigo particular functions, right? Date and time, if you want to have a particular date and time field in your spreadsheet, so hence just carries the same thing. That means every and each one of them is having their own specific particular uses. All right, moving towards the next slide, you can see a function is made up of two things that is easily written on the screen. You can see it out, function name along with argument. Okay, that makes together functions. Function name plus argument, as given in this particular example also. In this case, sum, which is written over here, is the name of the function, while these two are the required arguments. Okay, don't fall on to this particular term, required argument, optional argument, don't worry. They are simply, you can even term it as arguments. They are arguments. Function name plus arguments together make up a function. So moving towards the next one, functions used in MS Excel. These are various functions that are already provided into your book also. You can just have a look. There are totally 6. We will move one by one to each one of them and we'll try to understand it. Okay, so moving here, as you can see, there lies very first function named as sum. Sum is used simple as that to add together. Fine, but using a function is somewhat different as using a formula. The only difference lies you are simply putting up this function here named as sum. Along with this, you are not using here any sort of plus sign. You are simply putting up here what? Colon. Okay, the colon sign basically is being used. Using this colon sign will enable you to select all of them together. Okay, that means if you are giving A1, that means from A1, okay, it will be considering till A6. I'm repeating again, from A1, it will be considering till A6. All of these numbers will be added together and you will get the particular sum, 77. This was only possible because you had used which function? Sum function. Here you are not simply putting up the cell address. Here you are using range. Here you can even study range or the particular numbers. Okay. So either you can simply illustrate range, along with it you can even write numbers. Coming to the second one lies the another function, that is average. Average is used to calculate the average of the numbers. Very easy. Okay. Example, you can see the same thing is there. In spite of sum, we had just replaced it with average. Okay. Rest the things are just the same here. Using this, you will consider from A1 till A6. It will have the average of all of the numbers together and will directly get you the result. Here the output you can see is 17. It had added all of them together, carried out its average and given you thus the result. This was the second type of average function, that was average. Second type of function as average. Moving towards the third type of function, that is count number, used to count the number of the cells in the cell range containing numerical values. If I'm considering from A1 till A6, I am doing what? I am counting these particular number of cells. Okay, so now let's count together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Answer should be 6, but it is coming 5. Okay, now should I tell, now it's my duty to tell you that it is only considering the numerical values. Is this a particular numerical value? Answer is no. That's why it is not considering or neither counting this. It is only counting numbers, and here therefore 5 numbers are there, and thus the answer is only 5. Okay. The way to write this function is yet the same. Count, the name of the function, and then the argument, that is A1 colon A6, thus fetching you the entire range. Fine. Moving towards the fourth particular function involves as max, that means is used to display the largest value in the cell range. Same, name of the function is max, and you are thus considering the entire range from A1 to A6. Fine. It will be just finding out which one is the maximum and will directly get you the output also the same way. In this example given to you on the screen, maximum value is 79. So therefore, you can see here the value directly has been printed after using this formula, which is 79. Great. So moving to the next one, fifth one, or you can say the second last one, involves the function known as min. Min stands for minimum. Fine. Max stands for maximum, min stands for minimum. Thus, the way of writing is yet again the same, equals to, because it's the formula again, min function name, and these are the arguments. Considering from A1 colon A6, all of them considering together, and thus getting you the result as what? As minimum. Which one is minimum value here? That is 21. So 21 had been printed over here. Fine. Coming to the next and the last one, that is if. Okay, so if is actually a conditional function. Conditional function means either it can display you true or either it can display you false. Okay, it's not going to give you any other value other than these two. Either it should be true or either should be false. Now there lies another way of writing this. In order to write this, this is the particular syntax as you can read over here. If condition you will write, this is the condition. A1, that means this has to be greater than 30. Okay, if it is true, then it will be 40 as an output. If it is false, the value will be 75 as output. Again, I'm saying, just look here, that if the value of A1, cell address A1, if this value is greater than 30, sorry, not greater, in fact less than, in fact it is, you can simply say and can even read it. This means that if the value of A1 is greater than 30, we were correct, A1 if it is greater than 30, then output will be 40. If this condition is true, first one will be printed like here. If it is not true, then the second condition will be printed, or you can say the second value will be printed. In this case, the value is 75. Okay. Same way you are writing here, if A1 is greater than 30, value printed will be 40. If not, if this condition is false, the value printed will be 75. The same thing is happening. It is only a conditional function that displays you either true or either false as an output. That means true, first value will be printed, false, then second value will be printed. And this is the syntax, value if true, okay, value if false, then this is the value. So moving towards the next section of this particular chapter lies features of MS Excel. As you can see on the screen, there are 4 features illustrated. First one is conditional formatting, sorting data, filtering data, and the last one is custom filter. So moving towards the first one, this feature is basically used in this worksheet or any sort of, you can have the particular spreadsheet also, onto specific conditions. That means this also involve various steps. Once you are doing it, you will be able to understand. Imagine this is a particular, right now as you can see, is a worksheet available. Fine. This worksheet involves various numbers of values. What you are trying to do is, first step involves, you are supposed to select all of them together. Once selected, you will move to Home tab, and from there you will choose an option conditional formatting. After conditional formatting, you are supposed to give the particular required option also. That means whatever you are trying to have the condition, you will get that option also. Once that is done, step 4 includes to get the value, to type the value and choose the formatting style. Fine. This is giving you the particular value, along with it the formatting style also. And the last one is click on OK. So this particular conditional formatting involves 5 number of the steps together. Selecting, then from Home tab you will just select conditional formatting. By having the required options, later on in 4th step you will get the value, changing the format if you want, and last one is click on OK. So this was all about conditional formatting, following the formatting thing only, but using or having certain conditions. Next one is sorting data. So sorting data means either you are supposed to arrange it ascending order wise or descending order wise. Sorting is simply that, arranging the data in ascending or descending order. The way to do it involves again some steps. First one is create the worksheet and select the cells. You are creating the particular worksheet. Once worksheet has been created, you will simply select it. Second is click data tab. Here, from here you will select data tab. Next one, you in that data tab you can see here something which is actually zoomed out here. This is a particular thing provided. Using this, it will be arranged ascending order wise. Using this, it will be arranged descending order wise. Okay, simple as that, A to Z or Z to A. This will help you to sort the data using the several criteria, based on those several criteria that you want to use. Moving towards the next type, sorting the data onto basis of certain conditions. If you are having certain conditions such as like sort by total, sort on the particular values, or largest to smallest, such conditions can be fulfilled using this type of the particular steps. First one, again the same step, worksheet made and then selected. Same thing, click on the data tab and then again you will get this sort. After this, the only thing is, one thing supposed to be added, that is the condition. Whatever condition if you want to give, state it over here, and then thus the particular condition will be the submitted, changed, and the value will be sorted. Okay. As you can see here, this one is having the another sort of the sorting technique. Fine. In this case also is just the same, and in this one also. They all are having nothing. In fact, this particular last one is having a sorting in the way of a particular arrangement. They all are sorted in a particular arrangement. Okay. They all are arranged, and now this is what exactly sorting all about. So moving towards the next one is filtering data. So filtering data is just like the process which involves to find the data set in a cell range at a fast speed. You are simply finding out something, searching. But how you will search, that involves a particular technique. It will have just a particular, I mean, you can say it will search every one of them, and then the data will be filtered and will be given to you. A filtered data range show only the rows that meet all the conditions that you are specifying. Okay, so step number one involves click a cell in a range, click the data tab. Next is click filter. Once you are getting this filter, you can specify your conditions on the arrow of the column heading. Once that is done, you can simply click on OK, and the value will be thus filtered. Fine. Okay, so moving towards the next one, you can see the custom filter. So I had specially underlined this. This is somewhat important. Custom filter is actually done for a particular condition. Your filtering particular conditions can be different as per your friend. Okay. So two people can have different type of the filtering conditions or specified criteria onto which the custom filter is basically being applied. Steps of them involve click on again the particular same tab, that is the data tab. Here you can see, choose the option filter. Again, this particular column, you can you are supposed to click onto this arrow. From this arrow, you are supposed to have this custom filter, which is at the last. In this particular menu, you can see this, it is at the last. Once you are done with this, you can simply have the next step, that is choose an option from the list and enter a number, whichever you want, in the right box. Okay. Next is click or, and will take both the conditions, or will take any one of them. Okay. I'm repeating, and will consider both the conditions, while or will take only one, any one of them. And next, last step is basically to specify the second condition if it is needed, and thus the last one clicks on OK, and the custom filtering will be thus processed. So these were all the particular things in this chapter which were important. Words to remember, you are again supposed to learn it very properly so that there will be no problem at all. All right. So this chapter is basically been ended. Thank you.